So exactly which of the big crooked mega banks are financing all the congressmen and the senators and the state judges? Which of the big crooked mega banks is financing the state legislators and financing presidential politics? Who's the money behind Jimmy Comey and Robert Mueller and the Clintons and the Bushes and the Obamas? And who's the big money behind the Trumpster? Who's financing the swamp? Who's financing the deep state? Would it be these mega bankster gangster criminals that have robbed how many trillions? Precisely who are they? And why are they making huge financial contributions to people like Joe Biden and, I don't know, Kamala Harris, Pam Bondi, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Donald Trump, Mike Pence? Who are these great big crooked stinking bankster gangsters that have robbed the planet for so much money it staggers the mind? Is the Federal Reserve involved? How about all these big real estate companies and these great big real estate law firms? Who is it precisely that's financing to rig everything, to rig the system, Donald Trump? Everything's rigged. Who's financing that, Donald Trump? I mean, the people of the United States are entitled to a concise and clear answer. Is Deutsche Bank involved? Is Danske Bank involved? Is Barclays, HSBC, UBS, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan Chase? Who the hell is financing the deep state? And exactly what are they, financing the swamp with? How are they writing the checks and paying Donald Trump to have everything rigged for the Clintons, the Bushes, the Obamas, and I don't know, Joe Biden? Everything's rigged, right, Donald Trump? Who's paying for that? Whose checks are being used and whose funds are paying for it? Donald Trump. Now, we just came through a massive bailout of some of the most unbelievably underhanded and conniving, scheming and scamming gangster banksters and all their real estate and mortgage swindles. Real estate and mortgage swindles. And as they call it in Arkansas, the dirt dealing. All those land, all those real estate deals associated with the subprime predatory mortgages. And all these bundled up, alternate A and scratch and dent mortgage package. They call them scratch and dent loans. Liar's loans, according to William Black. But to, Donald Trump, Mike Pence, William Barr, Christopher Wray, director of FBI, who is it exactly? Patrick McHenry, Adam Schiff, and Maxine Waters. Who the hell's paying to rig the deep state and rig the swamp, rig U.S. politics, rig presidential elections? Who's paying for all that? And which banks are involved? Which securities and investments companies? Which of the big financial giants, these mega gangster banksters, who all is funding? Who's funding all this rigging of the system? Donald Trump. I think everybody's got a right to know. So subpoenaing JP Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo and Citibanks and, Credit Suisse and Deutsche Banks, subpoenaing all their records to see if are they behind the financing of the rigging of the swamp? Are they setting up the deep state by financing and writing the checks? The American people have a right to know this stuff. I can appreciate, the wall, and I can appreciate, Hillary Clinton being a lying skank, and I can appreciate, Bill Clinton's sexual liaisons, at Jeffrey Epstein's island, and I don't know, I guess I don't really care about Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, and I don't care about Julian Assange. Well, I don't know, let's ask WikiLeaks. Let's ask WikiLeaks and Alex Jones and all those other con men, the con men. Let's ask David Ickes, or however you say David's name, and Anthony Hilder. Let's ask Anthony Hilder, who in the hell is paying to have national elections rigged? Donald Trump. I mean, it's a fair question. And I think the Senate and the Congress banking committees and the Senate and Congress intelligence committees and the Senate and Congress judiciary committees and the Office of the President of the United States and Department of Justice, they owe the American people a very simple answer. Who the hell's financing all this stuff? Where's all this money going, coming from for the State Department contributions to the Clinton Campaign Foundation? Hillary? Which was it? Was it the Clinton State Department Foundation, or was it the Foundation Campaign for Hillary for President? Tax-free, tax-exempt. What was it? Hillary? Was it a modus operandi in a vehicle to launder a crap load of money from the people that are financing the deep state and the swamp to install you as President of the United States? I mean, the American people have a right to the answers to these questions. And folks, it doesn't get any simpler than what I just described. Where's the answers? William Barr, Donald Trump, Christopher Wray, Maxine Waters, Patrick McHenry, Adam Schiff. Where's the answers? Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, all these presidential candidates. Why aren't they explaining to the American public where trillions of reserve notes that were printed up out of the thin air went to bail out this giant international subprime mortgage mess? To bail out the giant predatory subprime money laundering mortgage mess. Where are all these campaign contributions coming from, Hillary? Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Mike Pence. Where are all these smelly, rotten, stinky campaign donations coming from? And who's financing the swamp and the deep state? Folks, look for the answers below. There, you can figure it out from the research. I'm part of a research team for the benefit of some federal courts. I've done a lot of research over 40 years on, how they've rigged the whole system. I'm a researcher, and I've been accused, I guess, of being a cut and paste guy. Cut and paste articles and cut and paste information from the internet. So people can understand who's writing the checks and who's clearing the checks, who's cashing the checks, and hell, I don't know, who's paying the tax returns. Hillary Clinton, Bill. Doesn't get any simpler. Look for the links and the information below, and as always, hasta la vista, God bless, and you betcha we're coming back.